Hey there, this is Andres Castañeda one more time. Thanks for watching. In this video, I'm gonna talk about where this video is about my final exam presentation of Advanced English Grammar. Uh, in this video, I'm gonna talk about with a presentation about Unit 11 from FOG5 English Grammar book. So the Unit 11, let me show you. The Unit 11 is about adverbs, but we have three kind of adverbs: sentence adverbs, focus adverbs, and negative adverbs. We have four rules for this kind of adverbs, but the first one is sentence adverbs. Remember that adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Some adverbs also modify the entire sentences. They are called sentence adverbs. Also called viewpoint adverbs because they express an opinion or view about an entire sentence. Common sentence adverbs are actually, basically, certainly, clearly, perhaps, maybe, obviously, overall, surely, possibly. So you can watch it in this part. But we have an example. The example says, fortunately, Bill's military service pay for his college education. That is equal to say, it's fortunate that Bill's military service pay for his college education. But some adverbs can function either as a sentence adverbs or as simple adverbs. We have firstly, clearly he is a very good speaker, where sentence adverbs that modify the entire idea. That is equal to say, it's clear that he is a very good speaker. And the other hand, we have a simple adverb in this sentence that says, he speaks clearly. He speaks clearly. Not a sentence adverb, but a simple adverb that modifies speaks. In this first rule, we have that you can use sentence adverbs in various places in a sentence. For example, if the adverb comes first or last in a sentence, you have to separate it from the rest of the sentence by a comma. For example, if the adverb comes first, we have basically, in and in a favor of that. And if the adverb comes last, we have and in favor of that, basically. And you can notice that if first or last, we have to separate it by a comma. You have to do it always. But if the adverb comes elsewhere in the sentence, it usually comes after the verb be or before other verbs. For example, with verb be, we have I'm basically in favor of that, but it is other verb, we have I basically agree with it. But where be follows a modal verb, the verb comes after the modal. In these cases, be is usually not enclosed in comma. For the second rule, we have focus adverbs. Focus attention in a word phrase. These adverbs usually precede the word or phrase focus on. Common focus adverbs are even, just, only, and almost. For example, even I believe that. Focus, you can notice that focus on I. And we have I believe even that focuses on that. But we have a note for this rule. Changing the position of a focus adverb often changes the meaning of the sentence. For example, just teenagers can attend the meeting. You have to notice focuses on teenagers. That is equal to say they are the only ones allowed to attend. But in the other hand, we have teenagers can just attend the meeting. You notice that focuses on attend. They are not allowed to participate in the other club activities. So for the third rule, we have negative adverbs. Include hardly, in no way, or another informal is no way, little, neither, never, not only, rarely, and seldom. In sentences or clause beginning with a negative adverb, put the verb or auxiliary before the subject to emphasize the negative meaning. For example, women are required to serve in the military only in Israel. Or we have only in Israel are women drafted to serve in the military. So you can notice that to emphasize the negative meaning, this is the you have to put the verb auxiliary before the subject. But if the verb is in the simple present or simple past instead of the verb be, use do, does, or did after an initial negative adverb. Example: rarely do women make a career of military. But the negative adverb not only combines with but also. For example, not only should we allow that, but we should also encourage it. If the verb is in perfect form, place the auxiliary before the subject. For example, never have I heard such a strange idea. But we have a note. Sentences beginning with neither are common in both formal and informal English. For example, my grandfather didn't join the military. Neither did my father. But sentences beginning with other negative adverbs usually sound more formal. For example, seldom have women served in combat. This is a more formal way to say it, a sentence, and with a negative adverbs. But we have four rules where here and there are other adverbs that force inversion when they come at the beginning of a sentence. For example, here is your money, and there goes the bus. But be careful, in a sentence beginning with here or there, invert the subject and adverb if the subject is a noun. You don't have to invert them if it's a pronoun. For example, here comes the bus, but we can say here the bus comes. Or the other example, here it comes, not have to say here comes it. So this was my presentation about Unit 11, where I talk about adverbs, sentence adverbs, focus adverb or negative adverbs. You have a question, you can write your question in the box question. I'll try to answer it as soon as possible. So thanks for watching and see you around.